Our family always ate dinner together. Our family always ate dinner together. Well, almost always. Every single night, there was one empty chair at the table. My brother's. He would lock himself in his room, lights off, and stay there until long after we'd cleared the dishes. Mom called him rude. She'd sigh and say, "I just don't understand him." Dad was more direct. He thought it was plain disrespectful. "He lives under my roof. He can at least join us for a meal," he'd grumble. When relatives came over, they'd just wave it off. "Oh, he's just being a teenager." They'd chuckle, as if locking yourself away in the dark was some normal phase everyone goes through, but I knew it was more than that. I could feel it. Something was wrong, but I didn't know what. For months, this was our routine. Dinner at 7, an empty chair, and the sound of silence from my brother's room. We all just accepted it. We stopped setting a place for him. We stopped calling his name. It was easier than facing the rejection every night. We built our family dinners around his absence. But one evening, something in me just couldn't take it anymore. I watched Mom clear the table, her face a mixture of sadness and frustration. I looked at Dad, pretending to be absorbed in the news on his phone. The silence was deafening. So, I decided to do something different. I took a plate of food, walked down the hallway, and stood in front of his closed door. I could hear the faint sound of music coming from inside. I knocked gently. "Go away," a muffled voice said. I knocked again, a little louder this time. I said, "Go away." The anger in his voice was sharp, but there was a tremor underneath it. I didn't leave. Instead, I just leaned my head against the cool wood of the door. "I brought you dinner," I said softly. No response. I waited for what felt like an eternity. Finally, I turned the knob. It wasn't locked. I slowly pushed the door open, just a crack. The room was pitch black, except for the dim glow of his phone screen. He was sitting on the floor, his back against the bed, a half-eaten sandwich in his hand. He wasn't even looking at his phone. It was just lying beside him, illuminating the stark emptiness of the room. He was just sitting there, eating in complete silence, alone in the dark. My heart twisted. This wasn't teenage rebellion. This was something deeper, something painful. "Why are you eating in here all alone?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. I stepped inside, closing the door quietly behind me, and sat on the floor a few feet away from him. He didn't look up from the floor. He just kept staring at a spot on the carpet as if it held all the answers in the world. For a long moment, the only sound was his quiet chewing. I thought he wasn't going to answer. I thought he was going to tell me to get out again, but then he spoke. His voice was so quiet, so broken, I had to lean in to hear him. "Because of the table," he whispered. "The table?" I was confused. "What's wrong with the table?" He finally looked at me, and in the dim light, I could see the sheen of unshed tears in his eyes. "It reminds me of that night," he said. "The night Mom and Dad fought. And just like that, I knew exactly what he was talking about. It wasn't just *** fight. It was *** fight. The one that felt like an earthquake shaking the very foundations of our home, our family, our world. The night everything shattered. I remember it vividly. The shouting had started quietly, a low rumble in the kitchen, but it escalated so fast. It was like a storm breaking right inside our house. The yelling got louder, meaner. Words were thrown like weapons. Then came the crash, a plate, then another. The sound of porcelain shattering against the wall still echoes in my mind sometimes. It was the moment everything warm and safe in our lives turned cold and brittle. It was the night our family broke in too, even though our parents stayed together. They just stopped being a team. They became two separate people living in the same house, and we were the kids caught in the middle. "I can't sit there," my brother continued, his voice thick with emotion. "When I'm at the table, all I can hear is the yelling. I see the plates breaking all over again. I feel it all. It's too loud." He ate in the dark, he explained, because the darkness was quiet. It was the only place he could find where the memories couldn't reach him. The only place he could eat without the ghost of that night choking him. My throat felt tight. All this time, we thought he was being difficult, rude, disrespectful. But he wasn't pushing us away. He was trying to protect himself from a pain that we had all tried to forget, but that he was reliving every single day. I didn't know what to say. "I'm sorry." Felt too small. "I understand" felt like a lie because I didn't, not really. I hadn't been carrying this weight the way he had. So I just sat with him in the silence. I didn't say a word. I just shared the quiet darkness with him, letting him know he wasn't completely alone in it. We sat like that for a long time, two siblings in the dark, surrounded by unspoken pain. It was a strange kind of comfort, but it was comfort nonetheless. I realized then that healing isn't always about finding the right words. Sometimes it's just about showing up. The next day, I had a plan. I knew I couldn't erase the memory of that night. I couldn't fix what was broken between our parents. But maybe, just maybe, I could change what the dinner table meant. That evening, before anyone else came downstairs, I went into the dining room. I didn't turn on the harsh overhead light. Instead, I lit a few candles and placed them in the center of the table, their soft glow flickering gently. I put on some quiet instrumental music, the kind Mom used to play on Sunday mornings. And for dinner, I didn't wait for Mom to cook. I pulled out her old worn-out recipe book and made the one dish that always used to feel like a hug in a bowl, her classic mac and cheese. The smell of baking cheese and pasta filled the house, a scent from a happier time. When it was ready, I didn't call everyone to the table. I just set one place for myself and sat down, alone. The room felt different. The soft music, the gentle candlelight, it felt peaceful, safe. I waited. I didn't know if he would come. I just sat there, my heart pounding with a mixture of hope and fear. After what felt like an eternity, but was probably only a minute or two, I heard a creak from the hallway. His bedroom door opened. He walked slowly, hesitantly, towards the dining room. He stopped at the entrance, just looking. His eyes scanned the table, the candles, the single plate of food. He looked at me. I offered him a small, uncertain smile. He took a few more steps into the room. "It feels different," he whispered, his voice full of wonder. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. "I know," I said softly. "I wanted it to feel safe." He stood there for another moment, and then he did something he hadn't done in years. He walked over to the table and slowly pulled out the chair opposite me. He sat down. He didn't say anything else. He just looked at the flickering candle flames, then at the plate of food I had placed for him. That night, for the first time since everything fell apart, we ate dinner together. It wasn't perfect. Our parents were still in their own separate worlds. The cracks in our family were still there. But for that 1 hour, it wasn't about them. It was about us. Not as a perfect family, but as two broken kids, trying to find our way back to each other, trying to heal, one shared meal at a time. If you or someone you know is struggling with family conflict or the emotional aftermath, please remember that you're not alone and help is available. Organizations like the National Alliance on Mental Illness and local family therapy services can provide support and guidance. Talking to a professional can make a world of difference. It's okay to not be okay, and it's a sign of strength to ask for help. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.